Hi guys, it's JB here. Disappointed really. From a Burnley fan's point of view. Burnley and Fulham tomorrow. Again, I was especially looking forward to with the feel-good factor, with the takeover and everything. We were due to play Fulham, but apparently now that's been called off because apparently Fulham have got more cases of COVID-19. And whose fault is that really? Not Burnley's. Their own club. If they can't keep their own house in order, then what's the point? Anyway, I'm going to go into detail why the game's been called off, and get my views of it. And believe me, having read articles and read tweets and things like that, I've got some frank views. Now, I should also underline at this point, of course, safety is paramount. We are still in the middle of a pandemic. I get that. So before people start berating me with comments saying it is a pandemic and all that, yes, I get it. I totally understand that, right? But I'm obviously got to see it as well from footballing reasons, as well as health reasons as well. But I know health is important, and I hope everyone's, by the way, staying safe and staying warm because it's snowing where I am at the moment. Right. So here it is. Burnley's match against Fulham on Sunday has been postponed after Fulham have had positive COVID-19 cases. The game was due to start in 24 hours from now. They've already had one game called off against Tottenham, which was a game that we were due to cover on this channel, incidentally. So Fulham have annoyed me twice now this week. From a personal point of view. Fulham have said the welfare of our players, staff and their families continue to be of paramount importance. It may be to you, but we're in case you've forgotten, this is a 6-pointer, and I honestly think I'm going to touch on that in a minute. There's also been claims that Alex Mitrovic, one of their so-called star strikers, he's not really that star, he's not really a good player to be honest, apparently broke Corby rules by attending a New Year's party along with Palace's Luka Milivojevic. Images on social media reported in the Sun newspaper have shown the Serbia teammates celebrating in London with at least 7 other adults. The mixing of households, as you all know, in London and most parts of the country, including my own area up here in the northwest, is banned under the government's Tier 4 restrictions. If that is the case, then, and it is true that this has happened, then Fulham, I'm sorry, but Fulham have only got themselves to blame. They're under obligations, right? I know, right, before people start getting on at me and saying, yes, yeah, but safety and paramount of people should come first. Of course it should, right? I'm not disputing that fact. What I am disputing about it is the way Fulham and their playing staff have gone about all this. You know, it's banning off them calling off one game against Tottenham. You could tell what Tottenham thought of it all on Wednesday. Now we've been on the receiving end of it. This was a big relegation 6-pointer. Things have been going so well for Burnley. The Leeds result aside, the last 3 or 4 weeks has been a feel-good factor around Turf Moor. The takeover, losing 1 in 6 games, 5 points ahead of Fulham in the relegation, 5 points ahead of Fulham, who are in the bottom 3. Now, I'm not going to try and insinuate that they try some gamesmanship or anything like that, but it seems a bit obvious to me. They're trying to get games called off now because of their own. I'm not saying they're trying to get games called off for the sake of getting games called off because of where they are in the league. I'm not suggesting that. But what I am going to say is I think they've made a run for their own backs by allowing players to go and mix at each other's houses when they're not supposed to. I mean, okay, the government rules are an arse, and we all don't like being locked away or being put in Tier 4, and mentally it's frustrating and it's draining on everybody. I mean, I'm up in Tier 4 now. Where I am in Lancashire, in the northwest of England, we've gone into Tier 4. And believe you and me, there's nothing I want to do more than see my friends and my family, some of my extended family again. Believe it or not. But whether we like the rules or whether we loathe them, they've still got to be obeyed. And quite clearly, Fulham have broke the rules with this Alex Mitrovic thing. Now, in my opinion, Fulham have an obligation to fulfil their fixture list. Right? They have a 25-man squad. Now, I don't know how many players have gone down with this COVID-19 malarkey, but to be quite honest, they obviously they'll be self-isolating, I would have thought, right? But in my opinion is they've got a 25-man squad. You can now bring youngsters in that are under the age of 20, 22, 23. Premier League served me right. So it's not a question of having... They know. They should know the rules at Fulham, right? If players have tested positive, get them self-isolating and bring some under 23s in, like but Burnley have had to. Fulham have got on paper have got a bigger squad than us. So why is it they are not prepared to fulfil any fixtures? It doesn't seem fair to me, if I'm being totally blunt, because. But we're on a great roll, and this is not me being selfish. I understand that safety is important, but they could have brought some under 23s in and made up a squad to go to Turf Moor. Did you see Chris Wilder? He had 3 cases of COVID in his squad. He set them, he left them all. He didn't take them to Burnley with him. That were Billy Sharp, Ollie McBurney, and somebody else, right? They didn't go to the turf, right? They didn't go to the game on Tuesday when we beat them 1-0. And in fact, they actually put up a brave fight against us, to be fair. Right? You didn't see him moaning. You didn't see him groaning and trying to get the game called off. So why are Fulham doing that? Why have Manchester City done that? They've got a massive squad. The Premier League need to come down hard on people. There is nothing in the rules saying that under 23s cannot come straight into Premier League squads. When you announce a 25-man squad, it's for over 23s. Right? Any good football manager player will tell you that, right? So, I don't care what Fulham's excuses are. I understand their safety of their players is paramount, but if their players have been breaking bubbles, then that's not our fault. It's not my fault. I'm just giving an opinion. And my opinion is it's a joke. Fulham are a joke, quite frankly, for doing this. They should be, they shouldn't be allowing people like Mitrovic to go on mixing other households. I don't care. They should be, as far as I'm concerned, if the game is called off, and the same goes to the Spurs match, right? And the same can be said for Manchester City in some respects. I think if you're going to start calling games off willy-nilly because a couple of your players have got COVID-19, right? Then I think you've got an under 23 pool. Put them in the squad in the play. I know it's sad to see players get COVID and. It's not a nice thing to have, believe me. But, having been near somebody who's had it, right? But, you can't make excuses or get games postponed just for that reason. You've got an under-23 pool there. Make the subs bench up with them. Don't even try and fool me. You can't fool me, right? I'm sorry. There's no excuse, right? Fulham could have easily put a few of their under-23s on, make up the substitutes bench. Take what they've got. Burnley have had 2 in the last few months. Remember, we lost 5 players and couldn't replace them, so we had to bring some youngsters in. We had to blood youngsters and get experience. We ended up, I think, with one game against Manchester City, I think we put 3 goalkeepers on the bench. And did we moan once? No, we didn't. So, there's no excuse for Manchester City. There's no excuse for Fulham. They had more than ample time to get under 23 players. If they knew about all these COVID-19 cases in their squads, if they knew their social bubbles had been breached, why wasn't it sorted out sooner? It's bitterly disappointing. I feel sorry for the players that have got the COVID at the moment, the Fulham players and the Man City players and whatnot, but the football clubs as a whole are to blame for this, because they should have kept tighter bubbles. They should have kept tighter things. Don't have them roaming around at Christmas. I mean, Tottenham have had to roll at 3 of their players because they had a get-together at Manuel Lanzini's house. Now, that's not on. Are we going to see more games called off because of it? The whole thing is becoming a farce, to be quite honest with you. If players can't keep to their social bubbles, then I think and can't even be bothered to fulfil their fixtures, or can't even try to fulfil their fixtures when on the day that it takes place, then I think then they should be deducted 3 points off their final league totals. Man City should be deducted 3, and I think Fulham should be deducted 6, because you're not fulfilling your fixtures. And I think the team and the other team should be awarded an automatic 3-0. So in other words, Tottenham, when Fulham called off the match on was it Wednesday at less than 2 hours notice. Everton, when Manchester City called off the match there last week at Goodison, again with only less than 2 hours notice. And Burnley should be awarded a 3-0 win for this, because teams should not be allowed to just say, well, we're going to call off games because like 2 or 3 of them have got COVID-19. Did you see Chris Wilder try to do that? No, he didn't. He wanted to press ahead and play the game because he knew how important that game was. Tomorrow's match would have been a very big game, right? Let's make no bones about it. Fulham, bottom 3. Burnley, 5 points above the bottom 3. With a win, we would have gone 8 points clear. That I am frustrated. I'm very angry about, because I know for sure that the form that we've been in, especially at Turf Moor these last 3 or 4 weeks, that Fulham would not have stood a chance. Absolutely not. I don't know what they've got to gain in doing this. I understand the welfare of the players must come first, but they've no excuse whatsoever to have said to a few of the under-23s, come into our bubble. I'm sure they've tested the under-23s, and if anyone's not got any COVID symptoms, put them in the squad, put them in the social bubble, whatever. There's no excuse. There's no excuse, and I think Fulham and Manchester City, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm speaking purely from a footballing perspective, I'm not talking as a Burnley fan, I'm not talking as this, I'm talking from a footballing point of view. I think the Premier League should make an example to these 2 clubs and throw the book at them, or just call the league season to a halt for a couple of weeks. Well, the league season will be coming to a halt anyway, because we've got the 3rd round of the FA Cup coming up next week. But I honestly believe now that if clubs are going to start doing this, then what's the point? You know what I mean? But clubs were doing so well until December with the social bubbles. We didn't have high COVID cases in any of the football clubs, just the odd one or 2 maybe a week. But because of Christmas and people just mixing in households when they're not really supposed to, then I'm afraid Manchester City, Fulham and a couple of other London clubs have made a big road for their own back, I'm afraid. Seeing my team's match against Fulham tomorrow being called off is desperately frustrating and disappointing, because it was a golden chance for us to go a massive 8 points clear of the relegation zone. So being made to wait until MK Dons next Saturday is not what I wanted, quite frankly, and I'm very, very angry and disappointed about the whole situation, because at Turf I think we're extremely good. So yeah, massively angry and disappointed, but I understand the players' safety is paramount, so don't start at me for this. I'm giving an opinion also based on footballing reasons. There's no reason why they couldn't put some under-23s that have tested negative in that squad, who haven't been mixing in households this last week. So the football clubs are only themselves to blame, in my opinion, but there you go. That's just my opinion. Whether you agree with it or not, that's fine. Agree with it respectfully, but I do stress, and I've stressed it a few times now, obviously the players' safety comes into it all, but there's no excuse why they couldn't fulfil those fixtures for Fulham and Manchester City. They should have the book thrown at them for not keeping their house in order with the COVID bubbles. No excuse for it. No excuse whatsoever for it. And they should be docked. City should be docked 3 points. Fulham should be docked 6, and Spurs, Burnley and Everton awarded 3 each, because that is just simply not good enough. As far as I'm concerned, you could have easily put under 23s in there. Just my point of view. I'm not saying health and safety should come second or anything like that. I'm speaking from a pure football layman's point of view. Right, that's all I've got to say. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave this video a like, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and that's it. I don't know really what to say now, other than it's going to be a boring old day tomorrow. Thank you, Fulham. Take care. See you later.